So it's actually quite a neat arrangement.
It's a very interesting development. And I want to get into that in more detail because it is the first transaction that you're doing as Pallinghurst, your new guys. But why I wanted to start off there was in your long and distinguished career, have you ever walked away, or have you often walked away from a proposed acquisition because of price?
Look, I haven't done that many offers of this kind. I mean, I've done a number. Perhaps the better way to answer the question is to say I have lost transactions, which I thought were going to be done one way or the other. They haven't always been up in the full glare of Australian publicity, if I may say so, because it really has got a lot of attention from the Australian press. So almost every move that we've made or that a competitor has made has been exposed to extensive analysis in the press. But no, of course I've lost transactions in the past. And, you know,
but in this one, when would you walk away from it?
Well, we've declared this offer final.
So that's it. If they come with, say, $5 from here?
Well, then we have the right to match that. And so we'd match it, or otherwise just to pass their offer on. But I think the attraction of this to the shareholders is that they get their money early, a long time before they would get it under the Palmieri offer. And they know that if there's a higher offer that comes out of Palmieri, they will still get that money. So they got the money in the pocket way before they would have got it from the Palmieri process. And remember, I mean, we're actually the second biggest shareholder in the company, and we're the biggest bondholder in the company. And we've been waiting 6 weeks now to see the offer. I mean, we'd like to understand how Palmieri is going to finance this. We'd like to understand what their vision is for the company if they were successful.
You've been doing a lot of discussing on, or a lot of thinking on these issues. But Brian, perhaps if we could just go back, and as I say, we'll get to Consmin a little later. When you last year did your deal in Russia, you put together Sual and Rusal, two big aluminium groups. You said, this is it, I'm off the stage now, I'm actually going to retire. And yet it was one of the shortest retirements on record, because it wasn't too long after that you started Pallinghurst, which you seem to be going full tilt with.
Well, I mean, I guess retirement is kind of a relative term. I mean, I'm out of the big corporate organizations that I've spent most of my career in. Pallinghurst is actually a very interesting initiative. The things that I think have added most value for my shareholders in the past, and that have really given me quite a personal fizz at doing it, is to find the opportunities in assets which, I mean, I use the phrase unloved, where their value hasn't been recognized. In a way, Consmin was one of those. I mean, the share price had halved at a time when everyone else had doubled or tripled. And we thought that we could do something with that. So we are trying to look in Pallinghurst for 5 or 6 such opportunities, which we will develop over the next 5-10 years. And we've got 3 of those now, and we're looking for a couple more. And then we would do them not in the big corporate mode, but as the strategic investor. And remember, this one started off when the Consmin one started off with us seeking the existing shareholders to be our partners in building a much greater company than the small regional producer of manganese and nickel, which it was and indeed still is. But under our vision, we would give it a global footprint. It would expand internationally. It would expand into other commodities. I mean, the kind of things that I've done in my career, which is to move from a single commodity to a broader base, and so build out the company and I believe bring a lot of value. And so we're looking for a set of opportunities like that in Pallinghurst. I said we got 3, and we're working on 2 or 3 more. So.
But since you left BHP Billiton, and that was a very controversial event at the time, controversy seems to have stayed with you. You had the Vedanta listing on the London stock market, where you weren't there for very long, made quite a lot of money out of it, and then the Russian oligarch came looking for you to move over to Russia. Is this something that you caught?
Well, no, of course not. I mean, I'd rather you put a different phraseology on it, and that is that I've been involved in the creation of really some very, very fine companies. I've played a role in creating those. I mean, BHP Billiton, you were generous enough at the start of this conversation to refer to the forecast we made at the time when we came around. And truly, you know, you look at the market cap today, it's the world's finest mining company. I mean, it's right at the top. Vedanta has grown from a collection of small assets in India, which were loved by their owner, Anil Agrawal, but really the market hadn't recognized the opportunity, hadn't seen the big projects which the company had and could build. We took it to the London market, put in place the cash that it needed, put in place all the governance stuff, and the company has prospered hugely. It's a $10 billion company now. And look at the Suel, Rusal situation. Suel, when I went in, was a million tons of aluminium per year from old, small smelters that it was producing. Today, its shareholders are shareholders in the largest, most profitable, greatest potential aluminium companies in the world. And so I'd rather you measure it in those standards than whether I have a small dispute with someone.
No, but you don't mind. Really, the point is you've always been known not to shirk away from a fight. If it makes sense, you'll do it, whether it's popular or fashionable or not.
Well,
and now you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah. We're trying to do some interesting things which I think will make a lot of money for the investors who are backing me.